Hey, what's up YouTube? We are here again with the 97 Chevy Blazer. Today's discussion is we are back on the fuel gauge issue again. So I replaced the fuel pump and sending unit, which actually comes as a whole unit. I installed an AC Delco one, so I did not play games with getting an El Cheapo aftermarket for it. And the problem I'm having is the fuel gauge again. Actually, let me go to the other side here. Give you a quick walk around here. The fuel gauge is very fluctuating, for one, and well, it's not like extremely fluctuating, but basically what it's doing is, let me show you here. So if I turn the key, now that wasn't too bad there, but usually when it's low on gas, that thing just takes off. That thing just takes off and just bounces all the way up above, almost down to the fuel line there, just boom. But anyhow, I would say that where it's at right now is somewhat accurate. From what I understand, a lot of people tell me that the F is actually full on these, even though the gauge isn't very well calibrated from the factory, I guess. And the F actually stands for full, from what I understand. So, with that said, it's off by, if that is the case, then it's probably off by 1/8 of a tank. If I tried to add gas to this right now, I'd probably only get about $1 or $2 of gas, if that, squeezed in before it shuts off the pump again. So, but the problem I'm having is once this fuel gauge down here gets down to about where I should have a little under a half a tank, it starts reading 1/4 of a tank. And then once it gets below, I would say once it gets to 8 gallons or below, it basically registers between this big thick mark there and the actual orange right there. It will not move. Now, if you shut the vehicle off, now it usually does this after a long trip. Let me straighten out this wheel for you here. There we go, so you can actually see what's going on here. Now, if you, basically, if you shut the vehicle off and restart the vehicle, the gauge will go back to approximately where it should be again, but it's still, the gauge reads at least between an 1/8 and 1/4 of a tank lower than what you actually have in the gas tank. The reason why I replaced the fuel pump and sending unit before was because of the exact same issue. Now, it seemed to resolve the issue for quite some time. It was back in March. This is now August. So back in March is when I did the fuel pump and the sending unit, and it seemed to resolve the issue, but now I notice within the last few weeks it seems like my fuel is going quickly again. It seems like I'm going through a lot of gas when I'm really not going through that much gas. It's just the gauge is reading that. And it also, it seems like I'm only getting 130 to 150 miles out of a tank according to the gauge. And then when I go to fill it up, it's a 19-gallon tank. I can only fit 10 gallons of gas in it, sometimes 11, depending on, how much I've driven. So, with that said, is this sending unit bad again? I mean, like I said, I put in a AC Delco one. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't go bad too, but it wasn't like I went out and bought, a $65 one off of eBay. This is basically a $388 AC Delco fuel pump and sending unit. The other thing I want to mention too is if you watch the gauge right now, of course it's not going to do it. But see, I don't know if you can see that. The camera's probably not picking it up. But a lot of times when you step on a brake, or if you turn on lights, or if you turn on a turn signal, you could probably pick that movement up. I'm not sure. That gauge will fluctuate. Now, it seems like everybody that I've seen on YouTube have this problem. I mean, this seems to be a very common problem with that gauge fluctuating like that. Whenever there's different voltage changes in the system, I'm not that concerned about it. I'm just more concerned. I just want the fuel gauge to read correctly. Now, I heard that somewhere underneath this glove box, I took this kick panel down below there. Someone told me that down here below there, that panel there, right underneath the box there, if you take that black panel with those 2 screws out and you drop it, there's supposed to be a fuel gauge buffer module. there's nothing in there. I found a relay that I'm not exactly sure what it goes to, but I unplugged it and the gauge still worked even after I unplugged it. So I'm not exactly sure how accurate this fuel gauge buffer module concept is. I did some tracing of the wires. Let me turn this off here and I'll get out and show you a couple things real quick. I did some tracing of the wiring coming from the sending unit. Now, it's probably not going to pick up on this camera very well, but we're going to try it. But anyhow, if you look, see if I can get this there. So, alright, you see that wire harness right in the middle of the camera there? It looks like it's underneath the brake lines there. That wire harness goes all the way back along the frame, and that wire harness connects up to the fuel pump in the sending unit. It goes up into this cluster. So I followed it, and this is ended up being here, which is hard to see. This wire here goes up into this plastic contraption, which, by the way, shame on you, GM. Why in the heck would you put all these wire junctions and harnesses right below the windshield on the firewall? I just don't understand that. Why would you put anything near a gutter system of water? I mean, come on, guys. Anyway, clearly they've been doing it for years. But in my, I took computer network engineering as well as electronic engineering, and I just don't feel that this was such a great idea. Like, I had this thing off here. There's a big wire junction that looks like that, a big brick. Why? I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into that. But anyway, back onto par here. But if you follow this, it seems to go. Here's my fingernail right here with my thumb. That seems to be the wire. Now, it looks to me like it just goes straight over to the PCM or the ECM or whatever you would like to call it, the computer here. So now I have no idea here, unfortunately, which one of these here have anything to do with it. I mean, I would have to try to track the wiring, which just to be honest with you, would be kind of a pain in the derriere. But I mean, I'm not seeing anything, guys. Everybody's saying there's supposed to be some kind of buffering module that's supposed to keep that fuel gauge working properly. I guess I'm hoping that it's something like that because I'm not in the mood to drop the gas tank again. This one isn't terrible, but you do have to, it's on the two-door model, so it's right behind a bumper. I'm really not in the mood to drop that fuel tank again, so I'm hoping somebody can give me some inspiring words out there of wisdom to kind of give me an idea of what the issue is here as far as what's causing my problem here. I mean, if everybody thinks that it's the sending unit again, they do sell on eBay, and yes, I said eBay, for $20, they sell the actual float resistor mechanism that snaps onto the side of your pump sending unit assembly. That's going to be the direction I'm going to go, because the deal that I got on this fuel pump that I have on here was a closeout special. I only had a 90-day warranty on it because it was a closeout special. It was brand new, nothing wrong with it, but it only had a 90-day warranty. Obviously, that 90 days have come and gone, and now I'm back to exactly where I started from. The gauge isn't as bad as it was before I did it, but I will admit it is starting to catch up very quickly to where it was before. So, but anyway, just to recap, basically what I'm looking for is some information on the sending unit to see if anybody knows for sure if this vehicle does have the that buffer on it, that fuel gauge buffer module. If it does, where is it, and is that possibly causing my issue if such part exists? I saw it on Blazer forums. If anybody's wondering what I'm talking about, if you Google search 97 Blazer fuel gauge buffer module, if you Google that, it should come right up as one of the first links that you get on your search for the Blazer forums website, and it'll take you there. And there's some literature that people typed up about it. A couple people agree that that's what it could be, and that particular module, whatever it looks like, I don't know, is mounted up underneath your kick panel for the under the glove box. I don't see anything in there that looks like it has anything to do with the sending unit and the fuel pump whatsoever. I don't see any kind of modules. There was a part number. Unfortunately, I don't have that part number readily available. I think it was a 192 something 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 number. Like I said, I can't find anything, and I unplugged what I thought could have been it under there and turned a key on, and nothing happened. The fuel gauge still worked. So my assumption is if that would have been the correct part, that fuel gauge wouldn't work. I also read that there's a possibility that this particular wire that we're looking for here could also be somewhere over here, or I'm sorry, this module could also be somewhere over here, along the fender somewhere. I don't know if they said driver fender or passenger fender. I'll be quite honest with you, I have no idea. I mean, this is nothing but a rat's nest in here. I don't see any modules, unless the module is, the computer is what they're referring to. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I'm looking at wiring here. If I were to say this probably is airbag, because these are yellow. I think yellow is airbag. It's wiring harness here. This has got a purple and pink wire in it and a tan wire, which kind of makes me believe this could be the wiring for the actual sending unit here. And I'm trying to follow it down, but I can't see where in the hell it goes. So, okay, those would be, this is for the O2 sensors right here. Okay, so this is the O2 sensors, pre and after cat O2 sensor harness right here, because I just followed it, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's got that silver lining down there. See me moving it right there? That goes the O2 sensor, so that's clearly not it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm just looking for some answers. Like I said, it's not like I'm gonna be whole hard up if I can't get this to work again. And if I gotta drop the tank, I gotta drop the tank. But I'd like to have a working fuel gauge. It's always been one of the things that really bothers me a lot. But in other news, I don't know if any of you remember from my previous YouTube videos what kind of a mess my garage is, because my father is a huge pack rat. But I cleaned out this section here. If you recall, right where this red toolbox is, right in front of you, straight back to those blue that used to be how packed forward it used to be. So I now cleaned out all these, basically those boxes you see there, that's stacked up with stuff that he's got stored. Right behind that's the wall. So I've made some huge progress. I would say I cleared out probably a 10 by 10 foot section, organized my tools, went through my toolbox. This is my miscellaneous areas or collection here is still a disaster, but believe it or not, I actually do know where everything's at. When I go in there, I can find it relatively quickly if I know what I'm looking for. But I got the tools pretty organized. I mean, they're not perfect, but this is a collection of sockets that I found over the years laying around throughout the garage. I got some deep sockets. I got them all the way up to 32 and 34 and 36 are in another drawer. They go all the way down to like 13, I think, or 10 millimeter maybe. Some deep wells. I just picked these up at Harbor Freight. I needed these. These are these hex things or whatever they hex bit set. Needed these the other day. Didn't have them. Got star sets back there. What I need to do is get some shallow half-inch metric impact sockets. That's my next thing. Got some drill bits. All my socket wrenches here, or that. Got some wrenches here. This is a kind of gimmicky. I don't know. I never was able to get it to really work for me. This is meant for pulling spark plug boots. I found it among cleaning the garage out. So don't know if that's even going to do anything or not. This is pliers, clippers, crescent wrenches are all in here. I got a bunch of them. I got some old, got to clean these up a little bit, old pipe wrenches and stuff. Got cutter down there, that's for cutting tubes and stuff for doing brake lines. This drawer here is my disaster spark plugs, multimeter stuff, or I'm not spark plugs, I'm sorry, I don't know why I just said spark screwdrivers, flashlight. These are pretty cool. You can't really break anything really tight loose with these, or you'll crack or ruin these, but these are nice. These wrenches are the clicky wrenches here, so you can basically hook that on something and use it like a socket wrench. Miscellaneous random wrenches in different sizes that I should go through and organize. Hammer, crowbar, pry bar, breaker bar. I got some appliance stuff in here. I got some heat shrink and rivets and cotter pins, and this is kind of like my another miscellaneous drawer. Heat gun, drill. I got my air grinder right here. Got an air sander in here. Down here I have my impact driver, my cutoff wheel, electric impact, and 2 torque wrenches. So cleaners for detailing. I got 2 little shop vacs back there. Bunch of spray paints and different rubbing compounds and waxes and stuff like that. On this one, miscellaneous nuts and bolts. I don't think there's even anything important in there. Battery charger. Got this Sawzall reciprocating saw, which is pretty nice. It works really well. Harbor Freight. Oil filter. So, working on charging these old. I found these electric Ryobi drills here. I found a couple of these that I had. Didn't even know I had. They work. I don't know how well they're going to work or how good the battery is on them, but working on that. Just changed the oil in my dad's car. That's the extra oil. This is all the stuff I got hanging up. Junk. I got more miscellaneous stuff down here. My air hose, my cord, my Craftsman's mower. Absolutely love this mower. This is an awesome mower. This is just a regular Craftsman's Briggs & Stratton 5.5 horsepower. Probably one of the best, nicest cutting, working, running mowers I've ever had. I mean, it's put together really well. 30-gallon air compressor. Got this nice little handy sprayer for painting. I've used that to paint an entire car. This workbench here. I just installed this vise. I never had a vise. Always wanted one. I finally got one installed. I'm excited about that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Other than that, I've made some huge progress in getting this garage straightened out. Extra grill and bug guard for my truck. Yeah, still got a long way to go. Looking forward to getting this cleaned out some more so I can actually start. Oh, here's my buffers. I got 2 buffers and drills and air sanders and everything else in there. These are just rags. I found an extra grease gun on that gold one. It's an old one, but it works. Bunch of crap here. In here I have my Harbor Freight drill and flashlight combo. Works pretty good. Flashlight's not the greatest, kind of gimmicky, but it works. It's better than nothing. Battery for it. It's already charged up. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, this is what we're working with here. Just picked up a soldering iron for $3 today. A whole bunch of junk back here. I mean, I got pretty much anything that you would need to work on a vehicle. So, old ignition module for a 3.1 multi-port. Probably will work on a 2.8 as well. GM multi-port W body motor. So, that's pretty much it, guys. This is where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and close out. But yeah, like I said, if anybody has any feedback about that fuel gauge, I'd appreciate it. Oh yeah, also found this too. Look at that. Didn't even know I had it. It works. Trouble light on one of them things. I got it mounted up there onto the garage door thing and take it out the door and work on cars. So, but and I shoved the jack down underneath the bag to the mower. So, I appreciate you all watching, and I hope you enjoyed my rambling in the video. And like I said, hope anybody has feedback. I appreciate it. Thank you.